Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I will be discussing with you the Newton's law of motion. So we are three laws of motion according to Newton, and the first one would be um, first law of motion of Newton states that a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will remain in motion at a constant velocity in a straight line. Then the second law of motion, according to Newton, states that the acceleration of a body is directly proportional to the force acting on it and inversely proportional with the mass of the body. So the first law of motion is called the law of inertia. Yun nga yung the body at rest or remain at rest and the body in motion remains in motion at a constant velocity. And the second law is what we call the law of acceleration. Then the third law of motion is what we call the law of interaction that states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So para mas maintindihan nyo yan, tignan natin yung mga iba't ibang examples na meron tayo. But before that, let us see what are the formulas that we can use for solving this kind of problems. So we have here the main formula that we will be using for solving is this. F is equal to MA. F stands for the net force, M is the mass, and the A is the acceleration. Then I'll be reintroducing again some of the formulas from horizontal motion that I have discussed on my previous videos na magagamit din natin in solving Newton's law of motion word problems related. So the related formulas that we can use here are the following. So meron tayo dito, kung maalala niyo yan yung mga formulas na ginagamit natin in solving horizontal motion. At magagamit natin yan dito. So let's begin. So lagay ko lang dito yung mga formula natin. Then let's start with this. As you can see, Newton's first law of motion or the law of inertia. May mga examples na ako nilagay dito. Example, bodies at rest, yung mga sabi ko nga kanina, body at rest remains at rest. Bodies in motion remains in motion. Okay, number one, halimbawa yung building, it will remain at rest unless there is a force acted upon it. So number 2, yung bridges, the AC units. Then dito meron tayong mga examples na bodies in motion, like for example the planetary system, the satellite, or a rolling ball. So yung mga first law of yun yung mga examples na sa first law of motion natin. Then meron tayong mga examples na hinanda ko dito for the second law or the law of acceleration. Ito yung first law of motion. So yung una natin ay inertia, first law. Pangalawa natin ay acceleration, second law. Then the third one would be the law of interaction. So let's begin with the first word problem that I have in here. An automobile accelerates uniformly at 8 meters per second squared. If the force causing the acceleration is 6 kilonewton, what is the mass of the automobile? So take note that 1 kilonewton is equal to 1,000 newton. So kung meron kayo nakitang kn, that is kilonewton, you have to convert that into newton only. So basically, kapag merong 1 kilonewton, that is equal to 1,000. Since meron tayong 6 kilonewton dito, you just have to multiply it by 1,000. Okay? So, para mas maintindihan natin, let's have the solution for this. So, paano ba yan? Lagyan natin mga given. An automobile accelerates uniformly at 8 meter per second squared. So, meron kayong makikita ang given 8 meter per second squared. We all know that kapag acceleration, meron talagang unit na meter per second squared. Yung denominator ng unit ay squared. So that is acceleration. So meron tayong acceleration na 8 meter per second squared. Hindi yan velocity kasi second squared yan eh. Kapag velocity yan, meter per second lang. Then, if the force causing the acceleration is 6 kilonewton, so the force would be, nakalagay dito, 6 kN, kilonewton. You have to convert that into Newton only. So, 6, magiging lang to, 6 times 1,000. Magiging 6,000 Newton na lang. Kasi nga, kada isang kilonewton ay 1,000. Since 6 yan, magiging 6,000 na. So, meron tayong acceleration and we also have the net force. Then, what we're looking for is the mass of automobile. So, yung M ang hinahanap. Okay? So, of course, ang unang-una yung ginagamit na dapat na formula ay itong FMA. F equals MA. So, dyan tayo nagsisimula. So, kung natin, may force na tayo, that is 6,000 Newton. Palitan lang natin. Equals, yung mass natin, yan yung nawawala. So, just copy. Then, times the acceleration, parenthesis. Acceleration is 8. So, what are you going to do? Is to divide it both sides by 8. Cancel natin to. So, you just have to divide 6,000 by 8. So, gamit tayo ng calculator natin. 6,000 divided by 8. So, that is equal to 750. So, the mass of the automobile is 750. So, lagay ko na lang dito. Mass is equal to 750. Okay? Since ano yan, class, mass yan, the unit would be kilograms. Okay? Kapag mass ang hinahanap nyo, ang unit nyo would be kilograms, grams, pounds, ganon. So, since Newton naman yan, ang gagawin natin kilogram kasi ang unit ng Newton ay kilogram meter per second squared. Okay? So, kilograms tayo. Next, not meter kasi hindi naman distance. So, this is a mass. Okay? Kung gaano kabigat. So, that is the answer for this first problem. Let's have the second problem. Find the force required to increase the velocity of a 1.2 kilogram mass from 3 meter per second to 8 meter per second over a period of 4 seconds. So dito class, ang kailangan yung unang gawin ay to list down the given. What are the given in this example? So sabi, to increase the velocity of 1.2 kg. Ito, 1.2 kg mass. So, meron tayong mass. Yun yung una. 1.2. Then, the second one would be the 3 meter per second. Yung 3 meter per second na yan ay velocity. Tapos, meron pang 8 meter per second. So, meron tayong dalawang velocity. The first velocity would be the initial and the second velocity would be the final velocity. So, lagay tayo, VI is equal to 3 meter per second. Then, the final velocity to 8 meter per second. Okay? 8 meter per second. So, meron pang binigay na given 4 seconds. Automatically, that would be the time. So, 4 seconds. Ngayon, ano bang hinahanap? Sabi dito sa first line natin, find the force. So, ang hinahanap ay net force. So, gamit tayo ulit ng FMA. So, F is equal to MA. Yan kaagad yung formula ng gagamitin nyo. Kasi dyan nyo malaman kung ano pa yung mga kailangan at nawawala. So, yung force, wala. Copy. Equals, may mass tayo, 1.2. Then, what is the acceleration? If these are the given, we cannot find or we cannot see any given that is acceleration. So, ang kailangan yung gawin ay to find the acceleration out of the given values here. So, meron tayong initial velocity, final velocity, and the time. Malalaman natin yung acceleration using the related formulas. Dito ka titingin ngayon, related formulas. So, ang gagamitin mo lang dito, yung VI, yung VF, tsaka yung time. So, dito, hanapin mo yung mga A, yan, may mga A yan lahat. So, let's take a look at the first formula, first related formula. VF is equal to VI plus AT. May A tayo, so pwedeng gamitin, but let's see kung lahat ba ng mga variables dito ay meron tayo sa given. VF, yes, it is present on the given. VI, it is also present. Then the time, it's also present. So, therefore, we can use this to find the acceleration. So, gamitan na yung formula, VF is equal to VI plus AT. So, VF, ito yun, 8, equals, yung VI natin ay 3, plus, yung A, yun yung hinahanap natin para ma-substitute natin dito. So, wala pa tayong A, lagay natin A dyan, para mahanap yung force. So, A, wala pa. Yung time natin ay 4 seconds, so times 4. So, paano gagawin dito? Yung 3 na to, class, ibalibag niya sa kabila. So, magiging 8 minus 3 equals, since wala na yung 3 dito, matitira ay A times 4. Then, ang sunod yung gagawin ay to divide it both sides by 4. So, 8 minus 3 is 5 equals A times 4. Para mahanap yung A, divide both sides by 4. So, cancel it out. That is equal to, acceleration would be equal to 5 over 4, or 5 divided by 4. That is equal to 1.25. So, 1.25. Okay? So, siya yung acceleration natin. So, balik tayo dito sa unang naiwan nating formula na hindi makompleto kasi wala yung A. Since may A na tayo, papalitan natin yung A dito. So, force is equal to 1.2 times yung A natin na nakuha 1.25 to get the force. So, net force would be equal to the product of the two values. So, lagay lang natin dito 1.2 then times 1.25. That is equal to 1.5. So 1.2 times 1.25 is equal to 1.5. The unit of the force is Newton. Yan ang unit ng force natin. So the net force is equal to 1.5 Newton. So that's it. This is the final answer for number 2. Okay, ganun lang siya kadali. You start with the FMA, then kapag merong nawawala dun sa, kung nawawala man yung F, yung M, yung A, punta ka dito, baka sakali mahanap mo siya. Okay, usually class, ginagamit natin ito kapag nawawala ang acceleration. So next, let's have the last example natin for this video. A force of 200 Newton is applied on a 10 kilogram box. So sabi, meron daw force na in-apply dun sa isang box na merong bigat na 10 kilograms across a frictionless surface. What is the acceleration of the box? So hinahanap yung acceleration. Then letter B, if the box accelerates from rest. May word na rest, take note of that. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong 0, yung initial velocity. What will its final speed be after 8 seconds? And the last question is, how long will it take the box to reach a speed of 500 meters per second if it continues to accelerate at this rate? So, para mas maintindihan, lagyan natin yung diagram. So, let's say ito yung surface natin. Ito yung box. That box is weighing 10 kilograms. Okay? Yan yung box natin. Then, merong force na in-apply dyan. So, yung force natin ito, in-apply daw dyan sa box na yan na gaano kalakas? 200 Newton. So, ngayon, ang tinatanong dito ay, what is the acceleration of the box? So, what is the acceleration? So, meron tayong given the force is 200 Newton. Then, yung bigat mass is equal to 10. So, makukuha natin yung acceleration gamit yung formula na FMA equals MA. So force is 200, palitan natin to, equals yung M natin ay yung 10, yung bigat. Okay? Then the acceleration. Then para makuha yan, divide natin by 10. Cancel natin yan. Ang acceleration will be the quotient of the two values. 200 divided by 10. 200 divided by 10 is 20. So acceleration is 20. So the unit of acceleration is meter per second squared. Okay, we're done with our first question, the acceleration. We're done with that. Ngayon, kung may acceleration na tayo, let's proceed with letter B. If the box, sabi dito, if the box accelerates from rest. So, meron tayong acceleration ha. Ito na yan. Dagdag natin yung given dito. Acceleration is 20. Ang tanong, what will its final speed be after 8 seconds? So, ang hinahanap naman is the final velocity. Kasi sabi, what will its final speed? Final speed is the final velocity. So, kung meron kayo dito, kung if the box accelerates from rest. So, from rest, ibig sabihin yung initial velocity ay 0. Kasi because of the word rest. So, paano natin mahanap yung final velocity? Gagamit tayo ng formula ulit. So, let's look at this first formula kung pwede natin magamit. Final velocity ang hinahanap. So, dapat meron tayong VI. Yes. May acceleration. Yes. Then we also, do we have the time? Time, yes, ito. 8 seconds. So, dagdag natin sa given. Time is 8 seconds. So, may time din tayo. So, therefore, we can use this formula. VI plus AT. So, VF, the final velocity, yan yung nawawala. Ano, what will its final speed be? Equals, VI is 0, plus acceleration is 20, then the time is 8. So, paano yung final velocity natin? I-multiply lang natin to 20 times 8. That is equal to 160. So, final velocity is 160 meter per seconds. So, yan yung final velocity natin after 8 seconds if the box accelerates from rest. So, yun yung sagot natin for letter B. What about the last question? How long? Pag sinabing how long, time ang hinahanap. Okay? How long will it take? Pag how far, distance yun. Or pag sinabi namang how fast, speed yun or velocity. So, how long daw will it take the box to reach a speed of, may binigay ditong speed to reach, para maabot. Para maabot niya yung speed na 500 meter per second. Pag sinabing maabot, ibig sabihin niya ay final velocity. This time, babaguhin natin yung final velocity. Ito pa rin yung given natin. Same given. Pero, yung final velocity dapat daw magiging 500. Pero, magbabago yung time. How long will it take? Gaano katagal yung kakainin niyang oras or segundo para ma-reach niya yung 500 if the box accelerates from rest. Ganun pa rin. So, ang gagawin natin yung formula ay ito pa rin. Pero, given na yung VF. Okay, yung VF na gagamitin nyo ay 500. So, lagyan dito. So, VF natin ay 500. Yan daw yung dapat maabot na speed. VI would be 0 plus acceleration is ito 20. Then, what would be the time? Time ang hinahanap. So, ngayon, ang gagawin lang natin is to eliminate that 0. Magiging 500 na lang equals 20t. So, to get the time, divided both sides by 20. So, cancel na to. Then, 500 divided by 20 na lang. So, lagyan na sa calculator, 500 divided by 20. That is equal to 25. So, meron tayong 25 seconds. Okay, kasi time niya, kaya seconds ang gagawin natin unit. So, it will take 25 seconds to reach 500 meter per second speed. Yung box na yon. Okay, so that's how you do the law of acceleration. You just have to use the formula F equals ma, and if the acceleration is missing, you have to use the related formulas, the following. Then kapag hinahanap yung distance, pwede mong gamitin to. Pag hinahanap naman yung final or initial velocity, you can use this too. Okay, I hope that you learned something from this video. Don't forget to subscribe to keep you more updated on my next video.